Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for another informative journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Coming up, we examine the controlled entry program for travelers to Jamaica, plus the NHF's prescription medication home delivery service and quitting substance abuse. All these and more are lined up for your half hour, so sit back and relax. We will have our news first after these messages.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
And now for some major stories inside our GOJ News Roundup segment.
Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton officially opened a new maternal high dependency unit HDU and a refurbished space for neonatal care at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital on Wednesday. The 6-bed maternal HDU boasts an operating theatre and isolation suite. Meanwhile, the neonatal facility was expanded to accommodate 4 high-dependency beds, isolation suites that facilitate the ventilation of up to 16 premature babies, and a refurbished space for a 24-bed general nursery facility.
I'm certainly happy that we can now open the doors of this facility. Where we have had a challenge in public health has been in our infrastructure to a large extent. I mean, we can always improve in all areas, but the infrastructure has been a big challenge. And it speaks to what the Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being for all at all ages. We have to live true to that commitment that we have signed on to. And part of that is to ensure that we upgrade facilities.
The HDU is the second of 4 being established under the Program for the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mortality (PROMAC). The program is being funded by the European Union to the tune of €22 million. Government will be starting a $220 million house wiring project in select constituencies during this fiscal year. This was disclosed by Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Favour Williams in her contribution to the 2020-2021 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Wednesday. The wiring project will be managed by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund under a Memorandum of Understanding with the Ministry. The work will be done in constituencies for which Members of Parliament have submitted projects to the Ministry. Member of Parliament for St. Catherine North Eastern, Leslie Campbell, is now a Cabinet Minister. Mr. Campbell has been appointed Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. He was sworn in at King's House on Monday.
Mr. Campbell, as a Minister without portfolio, your assignment may be many and varied. In this COVID-19 environment, there will be numerous challenges, of course. However, this is an opportunity for you to demonstrably contribute to the development of our country and the welfare of our people.
I thank him for having whatever he has seen in me, for having made the decision to appoint me and to give me an opportunity to serve at a higher level. And as I said earlier, I'll take a similar approach I take in dealing with the constituency, just to give it my best. I think with the added resources you have as a minister, then, and with all the support in terms of personal and so on, you can do much more than.
On the heels of Mr. Campbell's appointment, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced changes to the ministerial arrangements in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Leslie Campbell has been assigned to the Land, Environment and Climate Change portfolio. Meanwhile, Minister without portfolio Daryl Vaz will now assume responsibility for the water and housing portfolios, as well as subject matters having to do with certain special economic development projects. The Prime Minister says Mr. Vaz will be tasked with ensuring that water and housing projects are accelerated and that economic projects such as the special economic zones become reality in short order. The Students' Loan Bureau, SLB, is waiving all application and processing fees for new loans for the 2020-2021 academic year. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, made the announcement in Parliament recently. This temporary measure is part of a suite of policy initiatives to make accessing loans from the SLB and, by extension, obtaining a tertiary education more feasible and attainable. State Minister for Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Floyd Green is reporting that the country has adequate food supply despite a global economic slowdown due to COVID-19. It was disclosed that sugar, flour, rice and the vast majority of canned food that makes up the basic food items are in good stock. It was also confirmed that there is 2 to 3 months supply of chicken and 2 to 3 months supply of pork. Manufacturers and major distributors reported that for the last few months, despite the impact of the virus, they have managed to maintain or reduce the price for most product lines. And finally, the Jamaica 4-H Clubs is inviting young people to register for its Family Backyard Garden Challenge. The competition, which started in May, is open until August 31 under the theme Plot to Plate. It's open to Jamaica 4-H Club members, volunteers and members of the public aged 9 and over. The gardens can be a small plot of land, one's backyard or containers used to plant 2 or more cash crops. Each participant is required to submit either a 3-minute video in MP4 format or 6 high-quality photographs of the garden area at the beginning, during and harvesting stages. The top 3 gardens will gain bragging rights as the Jamaica 4-H Top Family Backyard Garden and will share $200,000 in cash and garden inputs. Prospective entrants can visit the Jamaica 4-H Club's website, jamaica4hclubs.com, before the end of June to access the challenge's general guidelines and registration form. For more information, call 876-927-4050-2.
I really hope that those who are listening to my voice will take an introspection of themselves and check out how they have been operating the motorcycle. Are you operating with a helmet, an elbow pad, a knee pad, a jacket, a shoulder pad? Are you wearing shoes instead of slippers? Have you removed the mirrors from the motorcycles? Obedience better than sacrifice. Do the right thing. Are you going to ensure that you buckle up in the motor vehicle and the persons in the motor vehicle behind your back, your passengers, are they buckled up? Are you going to ensure that? Are you going to give yourself adequate time to reach your destination so that you don't have to be in any haste, so that you don't help to clog up the health sector? Nobody should be going to the hospitals because of traffic crashes. Nobody. They are preventable, they are avoidable. We can make better choice than that.
Government has established a controlled entry program for travelers to Jamaica. It's part of efforts to ensure a smooth reopening of the country following the COVID-19 lockdown, while still securing the health of citizens and visitors. In our next feature, we will examine some of the procedures as it relates to international travel.
From the very beginning, our focus has been on protecting the health and safety of all of our citizens, here and abroad. Members of the Senate will recall that when our borders were closed, there was a mad rush to find over 5,000 Jamaicans who would have returned home in the last couple of days before that closure. That experience forced the government to put in place procedures and a system that will allow us to manage in a controlled way the return of our citizens, as well as the entry of non-nationals. The measures allow the Ministry of Health and Wellness to monitor for the period of 14 days and longer if necessary, all returning residents. The 14-day period is consistent with the internal and international standards and best practices as it relates to the COVID incubation period. To manage this process, we launched a website and app dubbed Jam COVID, hosted by the Office of the Prime Minister, which facilitates an application process which brings together critical information for PICA and the Ministry of Health that allow a risk assessment to be done before travel is approved. It also allows the tracking of persons during their quarantine period, regardless of where they are under quarantine. This system has now been introduced through visitjamaica.com as well, which allows non-residents to apply there. The process and the questions for residents and non-residents is the same, and although there are two separate portals, the information is housed and the risk assessment done in the same place. Though they have been acknowledged in another place by the PM, I wish to acknowledge the Amber Group who have donated to the people of Jamaica their time and skills to build this system, free of cost. It is also important that I acknowledge the team at ITEL BPO who have provided free of cost to the people of Jamaica so far, the call center support that guides people through the process. As of today, we have managed 19,312 applications from residents through the Jam COVID portal, and just over 2,700 non-residents through the Visit Jamaica portal. As at the close of business yesterday, 6,898 persons had returned to Jamaica and been landed since the start of the controlled re-entry program. We have 13,846 persons approved for travel in the Jam COVID system and 976 persons who have registered but not yet completed the application process. Important to note, there have been foreign nationals who we've actually rejected for travel based on the risk assessment by the Ministry of Health. The assessment for Jamaicans determines the appropriate quarantine arrangements as opposed to whether they can travel. Someone seeking entry goes to the portal. Residents go to Jam COVID and non-residents, as I mentioned, goes to the Visit Jamaica website. They fill out their application with ask questions, which would be asked on the C5 form when entering Jamaica normally, and ask questions related to your exposure and current health condition as required by the Ministry of Health. Questions related to suitability for home quarantine are also asked. When persons have completed the process, their applications are reviewed by PICA and the Ministry of Health for approval. When approved, they are issued a certificate of approval digitally. This certificate is mandatory for persons to check in on flights coming to Jamaica. The process at our ports of entry, CR Air, is the same for all persons entering Jamaica, resident or non-resident, except for persons coming from countries which have been designated as a part of the travel bubble. The countries in this bubble are countries that the Ministry of Health and Wellness have assessed to cause very little risk, as they have little to no spread and generally very low number of cases in their countries. You land or dock at the port, persons disembark and are greeted first by a team from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, which conducts the first health screening. At this screening, they take their temperatures and confirm the person's name and information. You then proceed to the second and more in-depth health screening before you enter the immigration hall or as a section of the immigration hall, depending on which port you look at. And you go into your more in-depth health screening, which confirms the information entered on your travel application and allows health professionals to complete risk assessment. Persons from countries outside of the travel bubble proceed to where they're sampled for testing. It is at this step where persons are registered either on their phone or with bands are registered on the system to be tracked, and the information for their addresses is input. That team has been managed collaboratively by the JDF and JCF. We have recruited 50 youngsters who are tech savvy through the whole program to assist with this process under the supervision of the JCF and JDF, and they will earn a stipend and be beneficiaries of training modules, especially related to customer service. The Ministry of Health and Wellness will assist these youngsters every day with the provision of PPE and ensure they are wearing it correctly and so as to limit risk. So colleagues, even in crisis, there are opportunities and we must embrace them within the new normal. Persons are asked to arrange their own transportation unless they have been listed for government quarantine. The monitoring is done at a command center set up at the Commissioner of Police's office. This is where, if there are breaches, the appropriate public health officials and police station is notified. So there is a countdown in the system colleagues, where at the end of 14 days, unless there is a request from the Ministry of Health to extend the order because of something that would have happened, you automatically come out of the system, and we cease to track that person.
Patients filling their prescriptions at participating drug-serve pharmacies are finding it easier to do so as the National Health Fund has put in place more convenient services for beneficiaries. They include using technology as well as the delivery of medication to patients' homes.
Senior citizens in the cohort 60 years and older represent the fastest growing demographic segment of the society, as more people are living longer. This changing dynamic has prompted the government to ensure improvements in the level of responsiveness to new expectations and needs of our seniors. The need for quality healthcare is top of the list. One aspect of quality healthcare service is the prompt access to affordable medication. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness, through the National Health Fund (NHF), has been leading the government's charge in providing critical supplies of medication at subsidized costs to persons in need. That includes seniors. The NHF has been improving its service by employing ingenious means of delivering medication and reducing waiting times and overcrowding at prescription outlets.
We are using a number of services in order to make it easier for our customers. We have the Prescript mobile app. We have a drop-off and pick-up service. We have scheduled refill for persons who come to the pharmacy frequently with the same medication. And we have a number of other initiatives in which we contact clients to work out easy ways for them to receive their medication.
A home delivery service for drug-served patients 65 years and older is the NHF's latest addition to its offerings. This emerged as a response to the coronavirus pandemic.
As most people know, the NHF is a customer-centric organization, and with COVID-19 we actually looked at different ways of better serving our customers. Medication delivery is an idea that we have had under active discussion for a number of years, and we found that this was an opportune time to implement this service.
This new service is available to drug-served patients on the NHF's scheduled refill program who have monthly appointments to pick up their medication at a drug-served pharmacy.
So for these patients, we give them 2 months supply of medications, basically. And the feedback is just excellent. It's really great. But when you look at how grateful they are, because some of them they can't walk, some of them they're disabled in terms of hearing and so on. So when you can come to them to actually give them their medications, it's really heart-touching, basically. So that they're very grateful. They say it all the time, and they are loving the service as it is now.
This was started in St. Thomas, and we've expanded into Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as in St. Catherine. And other parishes have now started, St. James and other parishes. And the intent is to have this program island-wide.
The NHF's home delivery service is set to benefit approximately 30,000 beneficiaries over 65 years of age, as well as other vulnerable groups that the fund believes can benefit from medication delivery.
We just received a call, asked if we would want it to be delivered, and we readily accepted it. The wait can be very long. I know they try to cut back sometimes by using the scheduled thing, but even then you have to go, and sometimes they wait up to an hour. So this is just ideal.
Patients may want to check out the NHF's online avenues such as web chat to indicate their need for delivery service. Persons can text their name and their drug-served pharmacy to 876-219-9937 or 876-219-9929. They can also call the NHF at 876-906-1106 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays.
I take the opportunity to commend our pharmacists, our pharmacy technicians, and all the team who facilitated this.
This is a good service, man. They say you must stay at home. And this service that you come and present, a wonderful service.
We are loving the service. We really appreciate it, and we wish it would continue.
Customers need not worry about having a National Health Fund NHF card or a Jamaica Drug for the Elderly JADEP card. The service will still be offered.
But at this time, when we come and realize that, oh, probably you don't have a card, what we can do is give you the steps as to how to get the cards. And in order to access the cards, it's a same-day printing at any of our drug serve locations that are named for that service.
The NHF, reaching out, helping to make Jamaica the place of choice to live in good health.
Substance abuse such as smoking and drinking of alcohol can cause serious damage to people's health and even death. The mind, especially a young mind, is not able to focus well as a result of substance abuse, causing that person to be more prone to destructive and violent behavior. We will now put the spotlight on a program and the young people it has helped with life skills to quit these harmful habits.
It's a good program so far, you know, because it helps out us a lot. Because every day we sit on the corner, now do nothing, you know. And CSJP come in now and give you a chance to do skills and get a surfing ticket and then thing there, you know. They help you out with smoking, counseling and then thing there, you know. Because we used to smoke a lot of weed and the program helped me and cut me down. I left from 10 and now I reach 2 and 1 for a week. See it? So, program help out all heap.
It has been a wonderful help. With the program, you know you can further your studies, worse if you couldn't afford to, and it helps you to be a better person for tomorrow.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP-3, through its Psychological Services Unit, CSJP provides persons ages 17 to 30 the benefit of a specialized substance misuse treatment program offered in partnership with the National Council on Drug Abuse, NCDA.
We are working with the clients, the families, the institution that they go to, be it remedial education classes or vocational skill training. Very few of the clients will admit that they have a problem. We refer them to our social worker who will do a detailed analysis on the client using the drug assessment screener. And then, based on the results of that, he will do referral now to the NCDA for treatment.
Individuals, community groups, or institutions within communities where CSJP operates can also refer youths who live in these communities. The Specialized Substance Misuse Treatment Program helps youngsters who participate understand the effects drug misuse have on their health and their productivity at work or school.
The persons that we interact with are mainly misusing marijuana and alcohol. And as we know, marijuana, it's described as a psychoactive drug. So it mainly affects your brain, your mind, and how your brain develops. So how it will affect these clients is that it impairs their memory, it affects how they make decisions, solve problems, where it's hard for you to remember things. You're in class, it's hard for you to focus on a particular topic. And at work now, it also affects your motor coordination and balance. In terms of alcohol use now, it basically lowers your inhibitions. So you're not really thinking about how your actions may affect something. So you're basically not going to work as focused.
Now, I kind of stop smoke from Saga drugs counseling. I catch and stop smoke and I see difference. And when I smoke weed, it play like trick on my mind. Like somebody that can harm me, somebody that can do me something dangerous. I just feel timid and scared when I smoke like too much weed.
Various individual and group counseling sessions helped the participants hone valuable life skills focused beyond drug misuse and relapse prevention. The program also teaches coping skills like conflict resolution and stress management.
You have anger management class, you have drug abuse class, and they would tell you how to help to cut down on the drinking automatically until you can just get rid of it.
All the things they teach, most of all, like even hours, then we try to reach a ball game and then things.
Well, other activity, I must stay home and do my homework, read a local book.
Treatment program of the CSJP also takes into consideration the client's support system, the family and triggers that are identified that would cause them to relapse into any of the dangerous practices. Appropriate strategies are then explored with the client to deal with and manage these, whether they be environmental, social, or emotional triggers such as stressful situations and conflict.
Ideally, what we'd like is for their family, their friends, their colleagues to be what we call accountability partners. So persons who are aware of the problems that they have and that can keep them accountable to staying on course and not relapsing, not going back to using the substance. So persons who will check in on their progress, ensure that they're not smoking, be encouragers for them. But what we don't want them to be doing is to also be using the substance, because then they'll be influencing them to use also.
And as they go through the specialized substance misuse treatment program, clients are better prepared to benefit from educational, vocational, job training and internship opportunities provided through the Citizen Security and Justice Program.
My life will be one of these well professionally. My friend will encourage me all through them, say it is a good thing and love is what I do.
Youth who participate in the program also develop a greater sense of self and well-being as they reduce or stop using drugs and begin to feel more confident in themselves to do well, achieving certain goals through their own talents and abilities.
Because they remember they're back in school now, enough things when they drop off from the college school, I catch on. Now I like do a city and guilds. Never know I could have come up to the exam there.
Family members of beneficiaries recognize the changes in their loved ones and are encouraged to see the improvements in their siblings or relative.
I feel good to know that he is not walking up and down like our youth who like go up and down. And kind of more keep steady and more to talk about the school.
When we finish with the client's supposed to have education, the client's supposed to have experience. The client will have skills, the client will know how to make better decisions.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP, a multifaceted crime and violence prevention initiative of the Ministry of National Security, transforming lives through social intervention.
We've come to the end of today's journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another informative edition. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website at jis.gov.jm or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's both Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry, urging you to stay COVID-19 free.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.